Hello beautiful people, I'm RaishPhoenix, and in today's video we're going to talk about how to deal with negative energy. If you haven't already, go ahead and click the subscribe button and click the bell so you can get notified every time I upload a new video. So, how do we deal with negative energy? So, first thing I want to point out is that the good and the bad always come up together. There's always yin and yang, there's always going to be a balance, and it's like light. You know, whenever you have a bright light, there's going to be shadows. Like, you need both of them to be there. So, good and bad things are always going to exist, and it's really up to you to decide whether you want to focus on the good things or the bad things, because during your entire lifespan, there's going to be good and bad things happening. So, if you spend your entire life looking at bad things, that's on you. You know, like that there comes a point where you really have to take the time to recognize that it's always going to be like this. It's like it's just balance. It's always going to be like that. So, when you look at things like that on a larger scale and you recognize that it's always going to be there, then you have to really take the time to kind of realize that now that you know it's always going to be there, what can you do to help deal with it, you know? And it's just one of those things where you have to put in the time to mentally kind of dissect and maneuver through what you're feeling. And one of the things, or one of the techniques that I use, is whenever there's, like, let's say if you're at work and you're dealing with a difficult customer, or if you're at a family event and you're dealing with a difficult family member, it's important to realize that, like, first thing, like, if you're actually dealing with an interaction, it's important to realize that people treat you the way that they feel. Like, how people treat you is a reflection of how they feel about themselves. So if somebody is having a bad day, or if somebody has, like, a lot of pain and trauma within them, they are already in a space where they don't even know how to treat you because they don't know how to treat themselves. So it's important to not take things personally. And literally, the way I think of it is, if somebody's talking to me and I know I don't deserve it, because nobody deserves that. If somebody's talking to me in a very condescending, rude way, I literally start to envision, like, a mirror. Like, instead of myself standing there with this person, I envision that there's a mirror, and literally they're just talking to themselves, and it's not even me. And then it becomes easier for me to really kind of deflect that energy, and also not take it on, and do my best to continue to stay in, like, my positive I don't know, flourishing energy, because when you have that understanding of self, like, when you know your energy and you're familiar with your energy, it's very easy to feel your energy and your aura and kind of like this protective bubble around you, as opposed to this energy that is trying to attack you or try and latch onto you. Instead, you're deflecting it. And you're able to find a way to put love and solution-oriented energy into that space, or kind of just walk away if you want to walk away. Another thing is, if you are in a situation in which you feel an energy that is not your own, and you kind of just don't feel, like, if you feel negative energy in your environment, or negative energy in a specific space, I think it's important to leave that space as soon as you can. And if you can't, find a way to go for a walk. Find a way to separate yourself from that energy, because I think it's so important to kind of get back to that aura that you have, and really basking in your own energy and your own protective space. And also just giving yourself enough time to decompress from that. Like, one of the things is, like, always know that your feelings are valid. Always know that if you go into a space and then, like, randomly you feel uncomfortable, or and it's and I mean uncomfortable, like, it's literally just the space, it's literally the environment. It's not that anybody spoke to you a certain way, it's not that somebody did something that made you feel a certain way, like literally it's just that space. I think it's important to kind of recognize that your feelings are valid and give yourself enough time to really feel what you're feeling, but also don't allow that energy to latch onto you. And what I mean by that is, let's say if you feel anxiety, when you feel that energy kind of coming up into your like heart chakra and throat chakra, become a watcher of it. Meaning, be aware of yourself, like your energy, but then when you feel that build, stay with that emotion and kind of allow yourself to feel it, but don't become it. Like, it's one of those things where it's just like, I just know it because I've been doing it for so long, but it's like you create a barrier in which you're allowing yourself to feel it, and you're just like, okay, I'm feeling this energy. It's kind of restricting. It's kind of making it difficult for me to breathe at a steady pace. Okay, I'm going to regulate my breathing. I'm going to, if I need to take the time, go by a window, go outside, breathe, regulate my breathing. Like, literally just give yourself enough time to be there with it. Like, literally be a watcher and be there with that energy, but don't allow it to become part of you, because once it becomes part of you, that's when you're allowing somebody else's negative energy to become your own, and you don't want that. Of course, there's a lot of trial and error with this process, because there are moments when I have a really good sense of self and I'm really grounded in the energy that I have, and then there are moments when like I have a bit of an off day, and it becomes a little bit more difficult to kind of create that barrier between myself and that energy. So it's gonna happen, it's one of those things where you're gonna have good days with this, you're gonna have bad days with this, but the point is to really practice and do the best you can to keep that separation between these negative energies and yourself, so that you can live a better and healthier life. Another thing, which I kind of mentioned before, is to be patient with yourself. Give yourself enough time to rest, and also just like, I feel like when emotions like that happen, you kind of just gotta step back from everything. Like, let's say if you had a plan to get a drawing done, or if you had a plan to hang out with a friend, like, if you still feel like this negative energy and you know that you need time to take care of yourself as opposed to going out or getting this thing done, like, take the time to rest and decompress. Like, take the time to give yourself what you need. Like, if you just want to lay in bed, watch Netflix, look outside at the trees, like, if you know that that's what you need to feel better, then take the time to do that. Or if you know that hanging out with your friend would help you get out of that space, then hang out with your friend. Like, it's really up to you, and whatever makes you feel better, make sure you take the time to do those things or engage in those activities. Another thing I like to do is I lay down with my crystals, and I put whichever crystal is associated with a specific chakra, I'll put it there. So I'll put my green quartz on my heart. I'll put my citrine on my solar plexus, my blue agate on my throat chakra. Like, I'll put whatever crystal on whatever associated chakra, and I'll just lay down on my bed, and I'll take deep breaths, and in between each breath I'll be like, I am safe. I am grounded. And the point of that is you want to consistently regulate your breathing, and you want to repeat affirmations that help you heal whatever, or heal whatever chakra, or I'm trying to think of the correct word, cleanse it in whatever way. You just want to work on that chakra and really work on balancing yourself out again, like balancing your energies out. Yeah, like I like to meditate with my crystals, and then another thing I'll do sometimes is I'll literally just open up photo booth on my laptop, and I'll just say whatever I need to say. I think it's important to always, I think it's important to express what you're feeling. And it's like if you have somebody you can talk to who really gets you and understands you, then talk to them. But if you feel like you're in a space in which you don't really have that person, then open photo booth, open, like, write in a journal, open photo booth, and record what you're feeling. It's not really about watching it back or having something written down. Like, I find that there are moments when I say something out loud or when I'm kind of venting about whatever emotions I'm feeling, it's not really about, like, I don't really want somebody to give me advice in those moments. I don't really want somebody to tell me what they think I should do or tell me what I shouldn't have been feeling. Like, I think there are moments where you just want to be heard. I think there are moments when it's not about what somebody has to say back to you, it's just about being heard and letting whatever you're feeling out. So those are the moments when I know I'll just open photo booth and I'll record what I'm saying, and then after that I'll just delete it, because it's important to get that out, you know? Like, you don't want to be brewing these emotions inside of you and then you end up like the people that are mistreating you and they have so many traumas and negative energies stored up in them because they never let them out and vent it in a healthy way. So now they're just an angry, bitter person in the world. So I think it's very important to take the time to let out whatever you're feeling, whether it's with a therapist, a friend, a family member, your computer, whatever it is. I think it's very important to just let it out. Like, find a very healthy way to express that. Even with video games, like, I don't play video games as much as I used to. Like, every now and then I will, but video games were always a really good way for me to kind of, it was a good way for me to zone out in terms of just go into this beautiful, like, Final Fantasy games. They're so beautiful, and the way the world is just manifested, it's so gorgeous. And I love video games like that that kind of take me into another world, another realm, and really bring me to a peaceful space. And then there are other times when I'll play Devil May Cry and I just want to kill demons. So, literally and metaphorically. So, like, find whatever way comes natural to you to just let out that anger in a healthy way, or let out that negativity in a healthy way, like, whatever it may be. Just find a healthy way to express it for yourself, because you don't want to keep that bottled up. I'm trying to think of other things I do. And, like, there are other times when literally I'll just go to my window and I'll just look outside. Because even with nature, it has so much to offer. I think we can learn so much from nature, because I remember I read once somewhere that it said, like, we can learn so much from the trees. Like, when spring comes, they blossom. And when it's fall, they know to let go of their leaves. And in winter, they know to be bare. Like, it's one of those things where it's just like, of course, yes, I know trees can't talk, but it's just like, they just accept everything. Like, they're accepting of the weather, they're accepting of whatever season it is, and they kind of just go with the flow. They just know what to do and when to do it. And I feel like it's so easy to get caught up in our head and caught up in the way we should have done something, or what we did wrong, or what we should have done instead. And I think that nature kind of reminds you of the beauty that is in every moment. The beauty in the winter time when there's no leaves, the beauty in spring when the leaves are growing back, the beauty in fall when they change colors and the leaves fall on the ground. Like, there's so much to learn from just being in the present moment and just being, like, literally just being. And that's kind of where my level of peace comes from when I go outside for a walk, or when I just look outside from the window and just looking at the clouds, like, pass in the sky. Like, I think nature really just has, like, a lot to offer. And if you are in a negative space, or if you're in a negative mindset, I think just taking the time to look at the beauty that's right outside your window can really help and heal you. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that these tips help you guys in some way in terms of dealing with negative energy and kind of how to deflect it and kind of change your mindset towards it so you can live a better and healthier life. Bless up, and until next time, sending out much peace, love, and enlightenment. Bye, guys.